2013 would see the 13-1 Buffaloes heading to the section championship for the first time since they beat Colfax in 2006. In this 2013 section matchup, they would face the 11-2 Sacramento Dragons. Fighting the Dragons and the Elements, Manteca would put on one of the most dominant championship performances in the team's history. So sit back and relax on this 2020 Friday night, and enjoy this MHS Section Championship Classic, Manteca vs. Sacramento, 2013.
Welcome to the CIF Division III Sac Joaquin Section Championship in the beautiful sport of football here on the NFHS Network. We are live from the home of the Lincoln Trojans here at Alex G. Spanos Field in Stockton, California. However, today's pregame show that is powered by Play On Sports is bringing you the matchup between the Manteca High Buffaloes and the Sacramento High Dragons. Now, my name is Greg Cotta, and my partner is Mr. Jason Patterson. And I want to say that the two teams coming in here, the higher-ranked home team, Manteca High Buffaloes, are coming with an overall record of 12-1, and the Sacramento High Dragons, with a very high-powered offense, are coming with a record of 11-2. Now I welcome my partner, Jason. Jason, what are you looking forward to tonight?
I'm looking forward to seeing, like you said, both high-powered offenses between both these schools. A couple of names to look out for on the Sacramento High side is their quarterback, sophomore, number 2, Caden Vogus, who's coming in on the year with 4,139 passing yards and 47 touchdowns to go along with that massive amount of passing yards. And his star receiver that he always seems to locate on those long bombs is number 3, the senior Damon Wheeler, who's running a 4.44 40. And he already has, coming in onto the season, 1,840 receiving yards and 22 touchdowns.
All right, that's going to do it for our pregame show, powered by Play On Sports. We'll be back right after this for the kickoff here on the NFHS Network. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We got to step aside for the anthem there. Now, as again here on the NFHS Network, the captains are about to head to the middle of the field for the coin toss, of course, but now we can get back to our pregame action. And Jason, why don't you just pick up where you left off?
Yeah, I was giving you some names for, we've got Caden Vogues coming in as Max Prep's number 1 sophomore quarterback in the country, but with all his numbers, that is definitely expected, as he has one heck of a repertoire over there.
Absolutely.
But to switch over to Manteca's side, a couple of names to look out for. Their star quarterback is going to be number 16, the senior Joe Manziel, who's coming in with 1,768 passing yards and 24 touchdowns to go along with it. And they've got a little bit of a dual rushing attack led by number 5, the senior Alex Laurel, who's coming in with 1,630 rushing yards and 32 touchdowns. And another guy who looks like he gets a few touches there is number 7, Michael Gonzalez, the senior as well, who's coming in with 776 rushing yards and 7 touchdowns. So a little bit of a dual rushing attack. Both teams like to pass as well, a little bit more passing from the Sac High side. But indeed going to be one action-packed game here to see who's going to take home your Division III championships in the Sac Joaquin section.
Now, we've had the pleasure of covering a lot of the playoff action. Now, we got to witnessed Sacramento High's game last week against the Christian Brothers Falcons, and they had the win almost entirely with Damon Wheeler. Now, in that game, Jason, you and I have gotten to talk about it a bit this week, and we saw Damon Wheeler just go off for over 400 yards, but it turned out to be a state record. So something really to watch for. I mean, he had one of the best performances in the great state of California's history, and honestly, it was just something else. He was clearly just the fastest person on the field.
Yeah, you said it. Fastest person on the field, most definitely. They would just throw the ball up, and he would go get it. Yeah, last week he had a record with 380 receiving yards to go along with 4 electrifying touchdown pass plays. So that was one heck of a play. And what I have here is Wheeler has wheels, and that is definitely an understatement. As it looks like where he got the coin toss, and all the captains are shaking hands. So we're going to go ahead and step aside, and we will be right back with the action for your Division III Sac Joaquin Section Championships.
Welcome back, folks. Greg Cott alongside Jason Patterson bringing you the action here live from Stockton, California. Sacramento High wearing their white jerseys with the purple stripes are going to be working from left to right. They did elect to receive after winning the coin toss. Meanwhile, the Manteca High School Buffaloes in their green and black jerseys with the white shoulder pads and green helmets, they're going to be working from right to left, hoping to get a stop here. 2 back to return for Sacramento High, including, of course, Damon Wheeler, who is a name we got to use a lot during this pregame show. Next to him is Karan Baspid. And they're going to be returning deep. Last week, Christian Brothers High School made sure to not kick too deep to them. Hopefully, I assume, to avoid Damon Wheeler's quick wheels, as we mentioned, but we'll see if Manteca High, coming from a bit further away, has a similar mentality.
Yeah, Manteca taking down Inderkum High School out of Sacramento to get here to this place, and they as well elect to squib it.
And that squib gets to Curtis Clark, and he's going to get brought down around the 29, maybe the 30. And decent field position here for the Dragons, but as we learned, they tend to not score their points from inside the red zone.
Yeah, they are a deep threat team here coming out of Sacramento High School. They are capable of scoring at the drop of a hat. And that's one thing, if I'm Manteca's defense, that you need to watch out for is that deep throw to number 3, who is lined up on the top of your screen right now. 4 wide receiver set, 3 to the right, 1 to the left.
And it's going to be a play action that gets a pass to the flats to Kyrie Stevens. And Stevens is going to work his way up to the 37-yard line. And a good gain of 7 there. It's going to be 2nd and 3.
Yeah, that's what you're going to see a lot out of Sacramento High, those quick passes. They are an overall passing team. Obviously, they have the capability to rush the ball, but if they're going to have the option, they're going to throw it. And they come out in the first play with a good chunk of yards, 7 yards on that first down play.
5 receivers set again. Another throw to the flats, but this time in the other direction. Great juke there is coming courtesy of Kyrie Stevens again.
Wow.
That was a nice move.
There's got to be cleats left on the field because that kid just got shook right out of his shoes. That was an amazing move in open field by Kyrie Stevens, and that is why they run him on those wide receiver bubble screens, because he has the moves in open field to make the defenders miss, and he did exactly that, picked up the first down, and Dragons looking good already with 2 solid plays from the line of scrimmage.
Caden Vogus out of the pistol. Sends a receiver in motion. That is Wheeler. Wheeler's now going to be open in the flats, but the throw is nowhere near target, and it's going to be second down.
Yeah, that's a rare miss from Caden Vogus, as he's usually right on target. He is only a sophomore, just so in case you guys missed that in our pregame. So a lot of young talent coming out of the quarterback position in the city of Sacramento lately. You guys already know the juniors, Matt Jimison and Jake Browning out of Folsom and Vista Del Lago. And here's Caden Vogue showing that here's another sophomore that can lead a varsity team to a championship.
5 wide receivers set again. Vogus is going to decide to tuck and run. Didn't see his first option, ran after that, but gets a gain of a few.
That's one thing that you'll notice, too, out of Sac High. Caden Vogus will be looking for his receivers down the field, but if he doesn't see anything, he will pull it up and take a run. And he's already coming in with about 700 rushing yards on the season, so he is able to take it as well as throw it.
So Vogus looking for options. He throws down the middle. He finds Wheeler. Wheeler brought down around the 40-yard line, so there's another first down for the Dragons.
That was a beautiful play there by Vogus. He was able to scramble around, find his receiver across the middle. And we do have a player down for Sacramento High. Looks to be number 57.
That's Terrell Craig there, team captain.
And that would be a big, unfortunate happening if the 6'2", 185 senior cannot get off the field or get on his feet and continue to play, as he is one of those main stay points on this offensive line. So while they go ahead and take a look at him, we're going to go ahead and take a break. Remember, this is your Division III Sac Joaquin Section Championships on the NFHS Network. We are high school.
Craig is getting off of the field on mostly his own strength, but his leg seems to be bothering him. We'll see if he is able to make it back in the game. We do wish him a good recovery. Here's a 4 wide receiver set, though. Instead, it's going to be a handoff to, oh my goodness, he's still on his feet. And that was Talik Ellis, of course, team's primary runner.
That was dangerous, as Talik Ellis made a few moves, and he ended up coughing the ball up. Luckily for him, number 18, Elton Myers, jumped right on it and keeps the ball for Sac High. That does move the chain, so a good run by Ellis, but he's going to have to make sure he holds on to that football down the field. You don't want to eliminate a good run with a fumble. Fortunately for him, he had a wide receiver jump on the ball. That's going to bring up a 1st and 10 from the 30 for the Dragons, driving nicely here on the first drive of the game.
And a 5 wide receiver set for Vogus is stopped before the play goes on. We're actually going to get a offsides penalty here on actually the offense. So they weren't lined up correctly, and that brings the ball back to the 35-yard line. Makes it 1st and 15.
Yeah, those are penalties that just drive coaches wild, as they know that these kids know where to stand, and they're just getting a little bit ahead of themselves.
3 wide receivers to the right. Vogus gets it out to Wheeler. Wheeler gets his wheels going. He's brought down. There was a great tackle there coming from Manteca's Brandon Dabney. So Brandon Dabney there with showing to do something that Christian Brothers High School couldn't really do too often last week. And now it's 2nd and 12.
Yeah, the one thing I love about this Dragon offense is they do a lot of quick hurry-up offense.
There's Lonnie Powell there, and he's going to keep the ball himself.
Yeah, that was a Wildcat lineup there for the Dragons with Powell taking the snap.
So it's good to see Caden Vogus line up in the slot as a receiver. A little bit of a misdirection there as we get just below 10 minutes now here on the NFHS Network. So there's Powell lined up behind Vogus. Powell is going to take the ball himself, goes between the tackles up to the 20-yard line, may have gotten the first down.
Yeah, that was some power running there, as there was not too many holes. Powell just picked a white jersey and pretty much rammed him up in there and tried to get right past him with his blocker in front of him. And he gained a little bit, but that's going to bring up a crucial 4th and 1. So the Dragons trying to pick up this 4th down and keep this drive alive, with the Buffaloes trying to make a stop and get their offense out on the field.
Now Vogus is lining up in shotgun, and he's going to keep it himself, dives over the line of scrimmage and gets the first down quite easily.
Yeah, that was a heads-up play by Vogus. I don't even know if that was a designed keeper. It looked like he had a couple options there, maybe to hand the ball off. He seen a big hole up the middle, took it, gained exactly what he needed, and that's going to move the chains again. So another first down, 1st and 10 from the 19-yard line for the Sacramento High Dragons, looking to come up with points on their first drive.
So Vogus lining up in his usual shotgun here. He's going to take 3 steps, looking through his reads, finds a throw over the middle. Wasn't quite on target. Intended receiver, though, was Elton Myers.
Yeah, Myers had a step on the defensive back. It was a good option, or a good decision there to throw the ball. He just let him a little bit too much, and unfortunately for Myers, he was unable to get his hands on the ball. So it's going to bring up a 2nd and 10 now from the 19. And we've got Talik Ellis in the backfield here for the Dragons.
Ellis lined up behind Vogus in the pistol. Great play action there. Gets it out to Stevens in the flat. He's going to get around the corner. No, he steps out of bounds at the 5-yard line.
Yeah, I want to point out the blocking there on the outside by Isaac Weber, number 33 for the Dragons. He had his defensive back locked into a beautiful block, and that was able to string Kyrie Stevens to the outside and almost led to a touchdown. So that's got him inside the red zone to the 5-yard line, 1st and goal for the Dragons.
So a good drive so far for the Dragons. As a bad snap makes me look like I'm jinxing them, but heads up play there by Vogus to be able to run 15, 20 yards back and get a hold of that one.
Oof.
But that makes it 2nd and goal from the 22.
Oof. That was a 17-yard loss on a bad snap.
Yikes. So
that was one thing that we noticed last week with these Dragons, that they do hurt themselves a few times. And some unnecessary penalties. Again, a red zone, bad snap. They just got to calm down and play their football that they know how to do.
Vogus drops back, gets it over the middle. Again, not on target. Intended for Myers. That makes it 3rd and 22, or 3rd and goal from the 22.
Yeah, that one was nearly intercepted by a Buffalo defensive back, as he was looking to try to get an interception and turn this one around for his team. But nonetheless, his defense has these Dragons looking at a 3rd and goal from the 22. And there's not too many plays in the playbook for a 3rd and goal from the 22.
I think they're going to probably use all their plays that they have that they use on the 10-yard line on the other side of the field. Here's Vogus trying to get something going. I don't know if this is going to be an encroachment or it's going to be a neutral zone infraction there.
I really like the heads-up play by Lonnie Powell, as the defensive back jumped into the neutral zone once. He let him get back, but when he jumped the second time, Lonnie Powell was able to just stand up, and that's going to be enough to draw the neutral zone infraction penalty, as the defensive back was in there, and that's what forced number 10 to move on the offensive line. So heads-up play there by Powell to get 5 free yards.
Vogus from the pistol throws out into the flats where he finds Powell, and Powell cannot gather it. So that's going to make it 4th and goal from the 17. So at this point, they're probably going to air it out and hope to find the end zone, or at least get close enough to give their defense a good situation here as we get near the 8-minute mark in the first quarter.
Yeah, not too much kicking coming out of the Sac Joaquin section, and we'll see what they do here on a 4th down. But do you want to watch more of your school's great matchups like the game you're enjoying here tonight? Tell your school to sign up for the NFHS Network School Broadcast Program. The program allows schools to broadcast all their games and other activities on the web. For more information, go to www.nfhsnetwork.com/SBP.
So again, we're just near the 8-minute mark here, and still knotted up at 0. However, the Dragons had a great drive that was ended abrupt or damaged quite quickly after a bad snap sailed over the head of Caden Vogus. So now they are lining up for what looks to be a field goal. But if I were Manteca, I'd be ready for a fake here. What would you say, Jason?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I've been wrong before. I was watching the kicker for Sac High, Solario, kick from about this distance in pregame. So,
and the kick is up, and it's low, no good. So that's going to give Manteca a bit better field position than I would have anticipated just a few moments ago.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, and that's one of the reasons why you don't see too much kicking coming out of the Sac Joaquin section. Not too many kids can put it up through those uprights, and so you see a lot of teams going for it on 4th down, and that time they attempted the field goal, and it wasn't even close as it was a line drive kick. And that's going to give the Buffaloes the ball from the 20. We're trying to work 80 yards to get a touchdown here to get the first score of the game for either side, as that was a beautiful, beautiful snap count there by the Buffaloes. And that's going to draw somebody from the defense off sides. That's going to be, yep, indeed, in neutral zone infraction or encroachment, as we're going to call it. 5 yards, so that's going to be a 1st and 5 now from the 25. Let's see how much that plays in this game. Is that already the first play from scrimmage, and they get the defensive guy to jump off sides.
The line is down, and it's going to be a run up the middle. Handoff there coming from Menzel. And that looks like to be a gain of 2, maybe 3, but after the 5-yard penalty.
Yeah, that was their star, Alex Thorell, on the carry there for that one. The senior listed at 5'8", 174 pounds. And he comes in with a lot of rushing yards and a lot of touchdowns to go with him.
And there's not going to be a handoff, but Menzel's going to roll out and finds his receiver in the flats. And that's going to be Alex Laurel there with the reception as well. That's going to move the chains.
So as you can see already, Manteca likes to run the ball and pass the ball there. They pretty much split it evenly. And we've already seen that, 2 plays from the line of scrimmage, 1 rush, 1 pass. And that does move the chain, or excuse me, yeah, I have the chains moved, the board does not. So 1st down here for the Buffaloes.
So from under center, Menzel's going to fumble it, but falls on top of it. Looks like he may have even gained a few feet, but 2nd and long.
Yeah, it's a little bit wet out there. Not quite raining. I'd definitely say it's more of a drizzle, but nonetheless, the ball is going to be a little bit slippery. And we've already seen a couple of bad snaps here early in this one with just about 6.5 minutes to go here in the first quarter.
So here's going to be an end around that is going to lead to a lot of Dragon tacklers. And that was handed off there to, again, Alex Laurel. So he worked his way in from the outside and gets stopped after a few. And that's going to make it 3rd and 5.
See, the Buffaloes running a little bit different pace of offense compared to the Dragons. The Dragons were in a hurry-up offense already, as they pretty much like to run that throughout the entire ball game. Buffaloes like to call their play from the huddle. And it's a big 3rd and 5 here. Let's see if they can't pick it up from the 37-yard line.
They're going to hand off to the fullback here. Dragons, they're waiting, and he was brought down on the carry. Was Hector Soto.
That was Curtis Clark on the tackle for Sac High as he read that play perfectly. It looked like it could be a little bit of misdirection. Don't know which back was going to get it. And Curtis Clark played it again perfectly, jumped right on the ball carrier, brought him down for a minimal gain. It's going to bring up a 4th and 4, and it is going to bring out the punting unit. So maybe a little bit more south as you go from Sacramento. They decide they want to do a little bit better kicking game, because I know in the city of Sacramento there is not much of a kicking game.
Michael Hatfield is going to be kicking for the Buffaloes, while Damon Wheeler, as well as Talik Ellis, the wide receiver and running back respectively for this offense, are back to return. That's going to bounce its way toward Ellis. However, Manteca is going to fall on it, and it gets good bounces in their favor. They'll stop it at the 15.
It all starts here on the NFHS Network. Tune in every week to watch the best in high school action from across the country. Thousands of athletes, hundreds of games, one destination, the NFHS Network. We are high school.
So Manteca Buffaloes, their band is currently striking things up here for their good showing of fans. As they did a lot of work here to add as much green and white to this red and white field as they possibly could. Here's Powell back, and he's going to keep it again from that Wildcat and bounces his way up for the first down. So a good gain of 11 there on the tackle. I believe was Pisano, Dom Pisano, number 3.
Hey, Pisano. So that's a gain of 11 from the Wildcat. And it looks like they're going to be lined up in the Wildcat yet again. Already showing signs of success here from the Wildcat are the Dragons.
Yeah, Vogus lined up as a wide receiver. Powell's going to get it over his head, but gather it. Runs up the middle again this time. Buffalo's there waiting.
Yeah, that was a good read there by Manteca's number 45, Peter Moa. He was able to get back there, the senior, 5'10", 197 pounds, read that play beautifully, brought the ball carrier down for a minimal gain, going to bring up a 2nd and 7 from the 29.
Yeah, they brought the ball carrier down, and they also brought down the Wildcat, at least temporarily, as Vogus is back in the shotgun formation. Tries a hard count, doesn't work, looks back to the play for the sideline. Passes it on down the grapevine, 4 wide receivers set. Powell is the back. Powell's going to stay into block. Vogus is going to roll out, and he gets able to stay on his feet and gets out of bounds at the 37-yard line. Something I've said before, but that's going to be enough for the first down.
That was great pocket presence there by Vogus. Seeing that his pocket was crumbling, sprung to the outside, still looking downfield, trying to make a play, and at the very last second decides to keep it for himself and gains a nice chunky yards, moves those chains, brings up a first down for his offense. And this Dragon offense has looked pretty good except for getting down to the red zone on that bad snap. As there's going to be a quick throw to Wheeler across the middle, and he's going to gain about 16, 15 yards, somewhere around there, to move the chains, putting the ball in the enemy territory. And that's that quick offense that these Dragons like to run. They call the play from the line of scrimmage, get up there, call it quickly, hike it, try to keep this defense off kilter. And right now, driving nicely yet again here on the second time they've had the ball.
Vogus from the pistol hands it off to Powell. Powell is able to work his way up to the 40. Brought down by a group of tacklers, including Nick O'Brien, number 24 there from Manteca High. And knotted up at 0 here as we get toward the last 3 minutes of the first quarter. Game moving at a decent pace, as both teams have completed most of their plays. Vogus clearing things up with Ellis and Wheeler. 5 wide receivers set, fakes the handoff to Ellis, and he is brought down hard. On the sack there is number 55 for Manteca High, Billy Sharmoog. So Sharmoog there, weighing in at 301 pounds.
Yeah, that's a lot of weight to come down on a 6 foot, 165 body frame.
Come down on a sophomore of any size.
Yeah, you definitely got to watch the offensive line play if you're trying to stop Sharmoog over there, as he's already shown to get through very nicely. He's already getting solid penetration. So if I'm big number 54 for Sac High, the center, Tyreek Hickerson, I might need a little bit of help there for Sharmoog.
He gets a good block on that one. Good rollout throw there. Gets out to Isaac Weber for a gain of 7.
Yeah, that's going to bring up a 4th and 3. And we've already seen these Dragons go for it on 4th down.
Yeah, they're already planning to.
Yeah, most of the time, anything under 4th and 5, I would say they're pretty much going to be going for it.
I'd say that's about right. They're now lining up 3 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Vogus rolling out, throws to the flat, dropped. Isaac Weber there got his mitts and then his stomach on it, but couldn't quite bring it down. Clock is going to stop at 1.5 minutes. And that's a turnover on downs for Sacramento High. So their offense has had some decent success, but all they've got to show for it is a really bad snap that took them out of the red zone and a missed field goal. And this 4th down conversion that failed.
Well, yeah, let's not take anything away from this Buffalo defense, though. They were giving up plays, letting the Dragons move the chains, but when it comes down to it, they buckle down and they get themselves off the field and have yet to give up a point. So hats off to their defense so far early in this one. Ooh, there's that beautiful hard count.
And the offensive line all drops down to their hands at the same time. And it's getting the jumpy Dragons to jump off now for the 2nd time. And they're probably gonna open every drive that way until it doesn't work.
I would do it every play because if you can get it once a drive, that's 5 free yards a drive. I'll take that any time. Any free yards is positive yards.
Menzel almost gets him to jump again, but instead it's a pitch out to Alex Laurel. And the clock keeps moving, but he gains a couple. And looks like it's going to be 2nd and 3 or 4.
I've been really impressed with this Dragons defense here to start this game. There's been a couple of plays that look like they could be taken far. And next thing you know, there's a white jersey busting right through the blocking and taking the ball carrier down. So the pursuit to the ball for these Dragons is stellar at the moment. We're getting under 1 minute here in the first quarter. So first quarter going by pretty quick with no score on the board and all knotted up at 0 as we have a 2nd and 3 from the 46 and a little miniature huddle.
And
that was the weirdest thing that I've ever seen. I've never seen a miniature huddle between a quarterback, 2 wide receivers, and a running back.
And I think we're going to get a late hit as a Sacramento High player there may have sat on Alex Laurel. But I think we're going to have to get more information. I mean, that's what I believe I saw. The flag was a little bit later than that. But indeed, it's going to be a personal foul on the defense. So Sacramento High with a 15-yard penalty. This happened last week.
A few times. And that was a big one there. That was going to be a 3rd and 1. Instead, it is now a 1st and 10 from the 38-yard line. 37, I had it right the first time. 37-yard line. So that's huge, and that is one thing that we've seen Sac High do all last week too, is beat themselves up with unneeded penalties. And that's something they're going to have to shake if they want to take it all the way to a state championship.
Offset eye for Manteca. Menzel fakes the handoff, rolls out, gets it to his wide open receiver Brandon Dabney. And that's an easy first down for them, and another flag comes in. And I think this is going to be unsportsmanlike conduct again on Sacramento High.
That is unfortunate.
Let's find out. I do need clarification, but I think that there is based on the lateness of the flag, and indeed, so a little bit of extracurricular activity, as we tend to call it, adds up to 15 more yards. So there's a total of 40 penalty yards for Sacramento High thus far, with the 2 15s as well as the 2 offsides calls. And the clock stops from the penalty as well as the first down.
Yeah, we went from a 3rd and 1 to a gain of 40 with only 1 play and 2 15-yard penalties.
And the handoff goes up the middle. And there's Alex Laurel.
It's getting a little bit chippy out there.
It is indeed. Both teams seem like they're really ready to compete.
And that's going to do it here for the first quarter, as this game is locked up between the Sacramento High Dragons and the Manteca Buffaloes. This is the Division III Sac Joaquin Section Football Championships on the NFHS Network. We are high school.
Welcome back, folks. We are here now on the opposite end of the field. However, Manteca with the second down, 4 to go for the first, 6 for the end zone, trying to punch it in here. Buffaloes send a receiver in motion. That's going to just go straight up the middle to, of course, Alex Laurel, a name that we'll become quite familiar with on this drizzly evening here in Stockton, California. As we just are at the start here of the second quarter. No scores in the first, however, some close ones there for the Sac-High Dragons.
Yeah, this drive from the Buffaloes has really been helped along by the Dragon defense. 2 personal fouls, 2 offsides, and that's a net of 40 yards for free, and there's only a 100-yard football field, so that's almost half a free football field.
And Manziel's going to keep it himself and get into the end zone. So there's the first touchdown that we were looking for, and the Manteca Buffaloes strike first.
Yeah, that was a lot of misdirection, as I had no idea who had the football until I see Manziel just absolutely pummeling through that line and getting in there for 6 points. So Buffaloes are first to score here, up 6-0 pending this extra point. And that might be a big momentum switch, as the Dragons were looking good on offense, but now after some sloppy defensive play and some good offensive play, they are down 7-0 are the Dragons here.
Yeah, so again, the extra point is good. And yeah, Manteca is looking rather good here. I mean, they've stayed sound enough on defense, but Sacramento High is such a quick scoring threat. I mean, they're really, I'd be stunned if Damon Wheeler didn't score tonight.
Yeah, I'm definitely expecting at least one Hail Mary down the field that Damon Wheeler gets the reception. But one touchdown is what the score is different, or the difference of the score right now. The Buffaloes leading 7-0 now, about to kick it off to these Dragons with none other than Damon Wheeler and Kyron Basped in the back to receive this kick. And the rain has picked up a little bit here in Stockton, California, here at Alex G. Spanos Field, home of the Lincoln Trojans. Beautiful facility here in Stockton, home to all of your championships in the Sac Joaquin section, anything under Division II. Divisions 1 and 2 played at Sac State, which are being held tonight. I believe there is a game going on right now that you can tune into as well, the NFHS Network, bringing you all the action here in high school sports.
So back to return for Sacramento High. There's Kyron Basped as well as Damon Wheeler. And this time it's going to squib, but it works its way to Wheeler. He's going to gather it at the 10. And he's waiting for blockers, tries to get to the outside, brought down at the 25. And Damon Wheeler is somebody you don't want to kick too directly to.
No, you don't want him to get ahead of speed, especially out in space, and that's what happens on kickoffs. You get these playmakers out in space, and they do exactly that. They make a play happen, and just smart play here by the Buffaloes. Keep the ball away from him. But he is a receiver, so if I'm Sac High, I would try to get the ball in his hands and make something happen. That is going to be Wheeler in the motion.
And again, same play thrown out to Stevens in the flat. Clock continues after that great tackle there. That's a gain of about 3, 2nd and 7.
Yeah, as the game goes on, it looks like the Buffaloes are starting to tune in on that quick bubble screen there. As the first time it went for a good chunk of yards, that time it goes for just 3. So a 2nd and 7 here from the 28.
So perhaps Vogus could take this opportunity as a run for Powell is about to go up the middle, but he bounces the outside. He's going to go the other direction now. And he's still going. Finally, a flag comes down. I think we're going to have some holding here. There's definitely enough time for it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a holding, as we've got a white jersey begging to a zebra to not call him. That's 54 Tyreek Hickerson, who is begging. And he's actually going to get called for a clipping, it looks like. I believe that was the call. I caught the end of it, but it looked like a clipping call. So that is going to move him back
quite a bit.
Yeah, indeed, it had to have been a clipping.
So an illegal block.
Chop block, clipping, all the same thing.
Yep, it's got plenty of names, but it's got the same result. That's a 15-yard penalty, so that's going to make it second and I believe 21.
Again, these penalties starting to really rack up, as that's another 15-yard penalty against Sac High.
So here's Vogus. He's going to drop back. He looks to find Wheeler. Wheeler's got it. And there's a good big reception for him. That's going to get it to third and reasonable. As it looks like he's just about 5 yards short, so that was a gain of 15 to offset that penalty. However, they have one down less here as they try to get up to the 40-yard line.
Yeah, that's something.
35.
That's something that you expect to see out of this Dragon offense. The quick throw to Wheeler across the middle, that was something that they chewed up Christian Brothers with a lot last week. That and the deep threat. We have yet to see Vogus attempt one deep. Maybe the rain is starting to affect that.
So Vogus is going to set up a screen. A great grab there coming from Talik Ellis. And he was able to bring it in. However, a flag comes flying in now against Sacramento High School's coach. And I believe that is Paul Doherty out there. I do not have the best angle on it. But it seems that Sacramento High is going to move backward again for this fourth down situation, which means that we're going to see Adam Pimper, their punter.
That's indeed a sideline penalty, which is something that we seen last week as well out of Sac High. So high tempers running not only with the players but also with the coaches, and lots and lots of penalties to start this one.
And that one's just going to be a warning, actually, but it will still be fourth and about 5. And the head coach of Sacramento High School, trying to get everybody out into the field, does not want a delay of game here. And they get it off. Pimper is able to get the high punt. It comes up short. Fair catch is called. And a little bit too much of a bump. Nope. Referees aren't going to call anything. However, that is textbook, technically a penalty.
I like the no call there, as it looked like number 33 from Sac High could not decide in his head if he seen him call for the fair catch or not. And then when he seen the player not attempt to run the ball, he immediately stopped himself and did not tackle him. I like the no call there. You got to let these kids play a little bit. So good call there by the refs, keeping this one simple. But Manteca taking over at the 45-yard line with short field ahead of them, trying to gain more points on this lead.
Michael Gonzalez there to get the carry. And he's just going to drop his head and fall a good 12 feet. 2nd and 6.
Championship, the only team in Manteca.
Yeah, I know.
Manteca history. That was offside on me.
Watch his face there. Ooh, that was close. Look at that. It was freezing today. I know. I want to see. For what? Nothing. I was going to check on Friday. Oh, no.
And, of course, Caden Vogus is going to be leading things out here as we get to 8.5 minutes here in the first half, or left in the first half. And Vogus with Powell to his left Powell to his left, as well as a Wheeler to his right, and whistles are going to come in. And it looks like Manteca wanted to take a timeout. They didn't get too good of a look at Sacramento High. They're going to talk it over as they lead 14-0.
Never miss another game. Become a subscriber of the NFHS Network to watch live coverage, game replays, and highlights of high school sports from around the country. www.nfhsnetwork.com, where it all starts here.
For those of you following along at home, you are more than welcome to use our hashtag of WeAreHighSchool to participate in on the action or follow at NFHS Network to get great updates and great highlights from around the country, especially every Friday night here under the lights for Friday Night Football. And now Sac High School is looking to get up on the board. They can score from anywhere on the field. We saw them do it from 99 yards back just 6 days ago. As Vogus is going to throw over the middle. His throw isn't on target. And it was nearly intercepted there by number 40, Elijah Cooper.
Yeah, it's starting to look like the wetness out there is starting to get to Vogus, as we've seen a lot more attempts deep downfield last week than we have today.
Here's a quick drop back. Powell is going to take it now, and he's going to bounce to the outside. Is pushed out after a gain of 5.
Yeah, last week's game between Sac High and Christian Brothers was in a beautiful noon start, or 1 o'clock start, with not a cloud in the sky. And then 6 days later, they're playing in a rain, cold game here against Manteca. So a big switch in weather. And so far, we haven't seen as many attempts downfield as I would have expected. And here's the Wildcat from Powell, and he takes it up the middle, and he gains a big chunk of yards. Looks like about 17 roughly. And it's going to move it to the enemy side of the field to the 45-yard line. So a nice chunk of yards there gained by Powell. And we've already seen that Wildcat be used successfully a few times here for the offense for the Dragons.
And they're going to come out in that Wildcat again. Dragons, a very young yet successful team. And they are playing like it at this moment. As Powell is going to fake the handoff. What a talented offense. Powell is still on his feet.
Oh, my God.
And he gets up to the 26-yard line.
Oh, right when you think he was going to get tackled, next thing you know, only one jersey goes down, and it was the green one, not the white one. And he just lays the defender out right on his back, and another defender's got to jump onto his ankles to bring him down. That Lonnie Powell is just a beast there from the running back position coming out of the Wildcat formation.
And Powell with the fake handoff to Wheeler, still going on his feet, and he just hopscotched his way to the 20-yard line.
Man, he's got a kid hanging on his feet, and he is just jumping for more yards. That is the athleticism that you want to see coming out of your kids out here in the championship game. They obviously came to play. Manteca a little bit closer here to Stockton than Sacramento is, but nonetheless not too far of a drive for either schools. And Lonnie Powell has showed up here in Stockton to play. So it's going to be Vogus back in the shotgun, 5 wide receiver set.
Vogus throws the outside, finds Wheeler. Wheeler gets his mitts on it, gets past the 10-yard line. No, he dropped the ball. Manteca's got it. Wheeler looks furious. Turnover again by the Dragons.
Yeah, furious Wheeler is an understatement right now, as he is entirely mad with himself. That's what happens here with a little bit of wetness on the football. You've got to put more grip on it. You got to two-hand it. Those strips are going to be a little bit easier to come by for the defense with the wetness out there. And Wheeler, unfortunately, found that one out the hard way. So that's a big turnover as the Dragons were looking to come back into this one, make it only a one-possession game. And they fumble in the red zone. So here comes the Buffaloes taking over the ball at about the 9-yard line.
And a draw up the middle goes to, of course, Alex Laurel. So that's going to make it 2nd and 9 here. Good stop there by the Dragons. Now the Buffaloes looking to march down this long field ahead of them as the clock rolls down to around 6.5. Manziel fakes the handoff, fakes the pass now, and then throws it away downfield. And that's going to stop the clock with that incomplete pass and make it 3rd and long. So maybe the Dragons can get the stop that they've been looking for here.
Yeah, this is a big 3rd down here, as we've already seen that the Buffaloes will punt the ball, especially so deep in their own territory. If the Dragons can get this 3rd down stop, get the ball back into their offense's hands, and I guarantee you Damon Wheeler is begging his coach to get nothing but the ball next time the offense is out there, as he's trying to make up for that fumble. So let's see if the defense can't get him back out on the field and try to get their team within a score here.
Looks like there's going to be 2 halfbacks for Manziel. And they are going to run up the middle indeed. Doesn't look like it's enough for the 1st down, but one broken tackle and Laurel had 80 yards of wide open space in front of him, but hand it to the Dragons for getting the stop there. As looks like Manteca is going to come out to punt on this 4th and short situation.
And it's going to be Ellis and Wheeler in the back to receive this punt. So you got your running back wide receiver tandem there. Both very much capable of taking it the entire distance for a touchdown.
Manteca with one of the more unique punting formations that we've seen so far this season. 3 main blockers there, just waiting back to give the punter the time, and Wheeler's going to smartly let that one bounce past him. It's going to stop at the 42-yard line. So a 58-yard field ahead of the Dragons, 5 minutes, about 30 seconds there on the board for them as they try to score in this 1st half.
Stay tuned for the NFHS Network halftime show powered by Play On Sports. We will recap the scoring and break down the 1st half of play for you. That's also coming up on the NFHS Network. It all starts here.
So here come the Dragons. A lot of youthful mistakes so far, but
rain is really starting to pick up here.
It is indeed, but a lot of youthful talent as well as they get their offensive line in order. 3 wide receiver set, 6 blockers, and they're going to go up the middle. That's going to be a gain of a few there for Talik Ellis. Or my apologies, that there was Lonnie Powell.
Yeah, Powell showing to be the workhorse here in the running attack for the Dragons. And I'm still assuming that the rain has a lot to do with the fact that they are rushing the ball more than we've seen ever for the Sac High. They're mainly a passing team coming in on the season, only rushing the ball about 302 times while passing it 400 times. So obviously a little bit more of a passing than a rushing. But this weather, I'm assuming, is what's leading to a lot more rushing plays than the deep threat attack that we were expecting to see between Vogus and Wheeler.
Clock resumes after that official timeout.
A lot of room here on the outside for the defensive backs with these wide receivers.
And Vogus hands it off to Powell. Powell's going to get enough for the 1st there. So that pistol off tackle run there is turning out to be pretty successful. However, the clock is working its way down now.
So just under 4.5 minutes to go here in the 1st quarter. A pretty action-packed 1st quarter. Despite the score being 14-0, both teams very much still in this ball game. Dragons looking to try to make this a one-possession game here before halftime.
Kyrie Stevens and Isaac Weber on the bottom of your screen, and it looks like we might get a false start here for the Dragons, and indeed, they're going to have to move backwards on this 1st down situation.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Again, just unneeded penalties, pre-snap penalties. That's going to be Sacramento's number 53, Uriah Douglas, the senior guard, called on that one as he was getting a little bit ahead of himself trying to stop this explosive defensive line here for the Buffaloes. So here is
Vogus with the empty backfield, looking through his options, has time, goes over the middle. Wheeler tips it up with one hand. Couldn't make the one-handed catch, but a bit of a dangerous tip there. Luckily, it finds the grass, and the clock stops at under 4 minutes.
Yeah, Caden Vogus does not look like he's on his game tonight. Last week, crisp, precision passing is the best way that I can explain it. Doing exactly what he needed to do, putting the ball exactly where it needed to be. And here, this one, he's got a couple wide receivers open, just unable to locate the receiver's hands. That's going to bring up a 2nd and 15.
Vogus looking to the wide side of the field. He airs it up. It's intercepted. And still on his feet is number 81 from Manteca High, Nick Gatehouse. And Gatehouse gets up into enemy territory. And now they have a 42-yard field.
Yeah, that looked like the first attempt for the Dragons to throw the ball deep downfield, and Caden Vogus just had the ball slip right out of his hands, and it floated dangerously right in the air, right into a defensive back's hands. The defensive back, Gatehouse, just pretty much is in love with that pass. Anytime you are on defense and it just floats right into your hands, that is a gift as we are getting towards the Christmas season, or we are in the Christmas season, we're getting towards Christmas, as he was gifted there with that interception.
So Manteca with a tight yet 4 receivers set. And now they're going to call motion, and that's going to get to the outside to Laurel. And Laurel has brought down a good wrap-up tackle there by London Brookins. But to recap for the Sac High Dragons so far, they've had a turnover on downs, a missed field goal, a fumble, and an interception. And I believe another turnover on down somewhere in there.
No, I think you were right. Actually,
there's been 4 drives.
I think you were right. Actually,
there's been 4 drives.
So they got a 4th down conversion on 4th and 2 on the first drive. So you were right. Turnover on downs, fumble, missed field goal, and an interception. That's not a good way to start your first half.
Yet still in this one. Manziel's going to hand off. And the Dragons there going to make their stop after a gain of, I'd say, 2 or 3, but no first down.
You know, since that first drive where the Buffaloes were helped out with a lot of penalties from this defense of the Dragons have buckled down fairly nicely on defense, not allowing too much. They have given up another touchdown, but that was on a short field.
That was Alex Laurel on the carry. Michael Gonzalez now stepping in for him. He's going to be the tailback. Manteca still patient with their offense. Blitz coming from the Dragons, picked up very well. Manziel's going to throw on the run, finds his target, and going into the end zone is Nick Gatehouse. He'll take the interception, he'll take the reception. 20-0 Manteca.
Yeah, that play was just well designed, and it definitely helps when you've got number 24 for Sac High, Melvin Pete, losing his footing as he was trying to cover Gatehouse. Pete found the turf as he wasn't able to plant his cleats into the ground, and he fell straight to the floor, and that's what led Gatehouse to being wide open and that touchdown. So the Buffaloes, pending this extra point, will be up 21-0 on the Sac High Dragons. Now the Sac High Dragons are very much still in this one, as they can score at any moment, but with the rain and the wetness on the football, we have not seen Vogues attempt a deep throw except for that last one that led to an interception. So it could be very much interesting to see how the Dragons decide to try to score here with 2 minutes to go, as they are going to need a touchdown to close out this half.
Yeah, they're really going to need one to hang in there. As for those of you who are following along here, in the Sac Joaquin section, I want to say going over at Sacramento State, Elk Grove is currently winning their game. So that is looking good for them. I know that Wadis Parker, a name that we've enjoyed a lot, actually just came up with a pretty big touchdown run.
That's Elk Grove versus Del Oro, correct?
Exactly, yeah. And for those of you who want to see that at home, you can head to the NFHS Network Twitter feed, where there have been plenty of highlights, including ones from this game that you see before you.
Tomorrow's the Folsom game, right?
Yes, it is.
That's going to be a good one. We will be broadcasting that live on the NFHS Network. as Folsom High is taking on, I don't remember who they're taking on, but it's going to be a great game. I know that much. Division I is always great here in the Sac Joaquin section. This game, still very much a lot of football left to play. 21-0 Manteca leading Sacramento High School. And Manteca is going to squib this one, I assume, as they have yet to kick it to Wheeler.
And this time they're going to boom it all the way into the end zone, and that's going to do it.
And they kicked it away from Wheeler still. Smart play.
Yeah, they must know very well who he is and what he's capable of, but with 2 minutes, 8 seconds on the clock, the Sac High Dragons have their work cut out for them. We've seen them in some tough situations before, but I don't think any this tough. But the rain is, again, really starting to come down.
Yeah, this is really going to show how much they got in the tanks if they can get this one down the field. They are on the 2-minute drill here as Vogues in the shotgun is going to take a quick snap and hand it to his running back, Ellis. And Ellis is going to take it for a gain about 2.
Yeah, Talik Ellis just gets a couple on that one. But the clock now rolls past the 2-minute mark. And the Sac High Dragons, although they do have 2 timeouts left, they are continuing with this hurry-up offense.
We got a 4 wide receiver set with a running back in the slot.
And looking to the far sideline is Caden Vogus, and well over the head and hands of Isaac Weber. He did everything he could to get it, but that's going to stop the clock and make it 3rd and long.
Yeah, this is just unfortunate for these Dragons as they are a primarily passing team. And I'm really assuming that the wetness is really starting to get to the sophomore quarterback back there. As during the entire warm-ups, there was no rain. It was completely dry, just cold. And now it's cold and wet. And it's really looking like it's affecting Vogus' precision passing. But yet he finds Ellis across the middle there. Ellis makes a couple good moves, takes it upfield, and takes it to about the 45-yard line. And he does get out of bounds, so that's going to stop the clock. And that was a good play there by Ellis, making a couple of nice moves, making some defenders miss. Takes it upfield and moves the chains nicely. So that's what they needed there for the Dragons, something to get their offense moving.
So again, lining up is Vogus. He has the clock stopped. Sac High has done well in this situation, but they've struggled in the red zone. Vogus rolling out. He's going to throw deep. Ends up throwing it away. Isaac Weber was nearby, but Vogus felt he couldn't quite find him, and the clock's going to stop again for the 2nd and 10 situation. Coming onto the field here for Manteca, as they're keeping their substitutes coming and going, is Chris Aranda. 5'8", yet 258 pounds. So Manteca has plenty of big bodies to line up on the line, while the Dragons stick with this hurry-up. Minute 18 on the clock, 3 wide receivers to the right, and the snap ends up getting bumbled, and Manteca falls on it. However, there was a false start that caused all of the misdirection, so that's 5 more yards there.
That's 5 yards, but it saves them the ball, as Manteca definitely fell on that one.
You never want to be in a situation when your options are a turnover or a 5-yard penalty, but if you have to choose, it's a bit of a no-brainer.
Yeah, if I'm Coach Paul Doherty, I'm going to be just grilling my team right now because they are unneeded penalties, just unneeded everything, and they are not executing on offense as they need to do.
Vogus has Powell to the right. He is going to throw to the far sideline, and again, it isn't on target. Same play to Isaac Weber, same result, 3rd and 15.
Yeah, I've got to, I'm going to keep saying it, sounding like a broken record, but I've got to assume that the wetness is affecting Caden Vogus' precision passing that we have come to recognize here in the Sacramento area. He has been just one heck of a machine back there, and here in the wetness, his targeting has been really off.
Vogus is going to throw a dump-off pass to Powell. Powell is going to get up and going, and he fumbles it. That is another, nope. They are saying that he was down.
And I think that's a good call.
I think it was a good call, too.
Because he simultaneously hit the floor as soon as the ball came out. It looked like the ball caused that fumble. That's a good call. So it is going to be the Dragons' ball.
And lots of boos coming from Manteca, but
they're up 21-0. I think they'll be okay with it.
I think they'll be okay with it, at least for now, as the clock stops at around a minute. Another good break there for Sacramento High. They need it.
Yeah, just moving the ball into enemy territory, so from about the 43-yard line.
And Vogus is brought down. The extra blitzer there coming in was number 4, Lechi Naquasha. And he's going to come flying in. And Sac High is going to call a timeout to stop the clock at 50 seconds. As they're down 3 touchdowns and now have a 2nd and 17.
Yeah, Manteca is really coming in here, and they brought the whole entire town of Manteca with them, as there is standing room only on the home side of this field. Lots of room over there on the away side, but on this side there is lots of green, black, and white, and it is packed filled in here, as Manteca has brought the entire town and the will to win, as they are up 21-0 on the Dragons. Again, the Dragons giving them a little bit of help for their first touchdown. A couple personal fouls, a couple offsides. But these Buffaloes have came here to play, like I said, and these Dragons have to wake up and do something. They got to do something, as they are capable of scoring. They're just not playing their normal style of football that we have come to expect.
Lone wide receiver at the bottom of your screen is Damon Wheeler, but Vogus is going to throw the other direction. Again, it just hits the dirt. 3rd and 17.
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen maybe 3 to 4 on-target passes from Vogus here in this game, and the rest of them have just been pray that my receiver catches it, as I'm just kind of throwing it in his direction. But again, hats off to this defense from the Buffaloes. They are getting in there, causing pressure, getting penetration from this offensive line, and I think that's affecting Vogus as well. A little bit of weather, a little bit of that tough defense.
Vogus rolls out looking for Wheeler, decides to keep it himself. He's brought down for a sack. That's going to make it 4th and 19. And Manteca letting the clock roll, as it looks like they aren't going to call a timeout here, and I think that will bring us to the end of the half. So my apologies. No, in this situation, it looks like the Dragons are going to go for it.
I expect them to just heave one here.
And that seems to be what works for them pretty well.
No, I agree, and it might be something that can wake them up. Just wait till 3 seconds, hike the ball. There it is. This is going to be one last play. It's going to be a run up the middle.
And it's going to be a run for Powell. Powell's going to get to the outside, and he steps out of bounds. Not enough time left on the clock, and the score at halftime is going to be the Manteca Buffaloes 21, the Sac High Dragons 0. We're going to be back in a bit with the halftime show here on the NFHS Network, where it all starts here. Welcome back, folks. It's halftime here, live from Stockton, California. I'm Greg Cott alongside Jason Patterson. Manteca Buffaloes leading over the Sac High Dragons 21-0 here. And we talked about the drizzle before. We talked about it picking up. Well, folks, now it is really cold rain. Everybody's got their umbrellas out. Everybody's got trash bags on their body. We're doing what we can to stay warm. And I think it's really going to have a big impact on the game. What do you got to say, Jason?
Well, it's already shown to have a huge impact on this Dragon offense. as Caden Vogus has been unable to execute his deep threat that we have seen from him throughout this entire season. Coming in on the season, he was throwing for somewhere, let's see, I got it right here. He threw for 4,139 yards and 47 touchdowns. And if you show me those stats and show me the first half gameplay, I tell you you're an absolute liar, because Caden Vogus has not been able to find his routine that he has mastered throughout this season. He attempted one deep throw down the field, slipped right out of his hands, and floated right into the defensive back's hands for an interception, and that has been pretty much the story of this game. Couple of turnovers, turnover on downs, and a lot of personal fouls already on Sac High. I believe already 3 15-yard penalties alone just from the personal fouls from Sac High. So Sac High needs to calm it down and just start to try to execute on their passing game. But these Buffaloes are obviously done their homework. They know exactly what the Dragons are capable of. They come in here, they're stopping that rushing play. Giving up a goose egg there on the first half, 0 points, is always great for your defense. Let's see if they can't continue that one on here in the second half.
All right, folks, we'll be back in just about 3 minutes to bring you the second half of action, where the Sac High Dragons are looking to bounce back from a huge deficit, and the Buffaloes are looking to just weather a storm. We'll be back right after this on the NFHS Network. It's the second half of the Division III Section Championship here in the Sac Joaquin section on the NFHS Network, where the Sac High Dragons, trailing by 3 touchdowns, are kicking off from right to left on the screen right in front of you. As for the first time, we get to see Manteca return a kick, and that is going to go deep
to Alex Laurel.
Alex Laurel, yes.
I think he takes it to about the 30-yard line, so roughly 30-31 yard line here to start for the Buffaloes, looking to add to this 21-point lead that they have went ahead and put up on the first half. Just an excellent first half play from the Buffalo defense and offense, taking advantage of turnovers that were given to them by the Dragons. And they are just looking to continue on what they started here in the first half.
Here's Menzel looking to read the defense, calls motion, and looks like we're going to get an offsides call. So again, with the hard count on their first play, get Sac High to jump off sides, and that's 5 more penalty yards there on the Dragons.
Yeah, just unneeded. I mean, just a quick little math. That's already 45 free yards from penalties that I can think of.
I'm actually getting up to 65 now.
65,
so,
wow.
Yeah, I believe that they're at 65 penalty yards.
Almost a free football field.
And Manteca gladly making those happen. Now all of them are checking their cheat sheets here. Looks like they might be digging a bit deeper for this one. And Menzel's going to hurry up. He's got 3 backs behind him. And blitz is coming, and it is successful. So a great stop there by the Dragons' number 6, Curtis Clark. And McDonald also credited.
Yeah, number 6, Curtis Clark, read that one perfectly. That's exactly what they were trying to do on the first play. They just jumped a little bit quicker, trying to get this countdown, the snap count down from the offense. And Clark did that one nicely. We've already seen a couple of solid defensive plays from Clark as he was able to read a pitch well in the first half. And that one, timing that one perfectly, getting right in the backfield, taking him down. So a 2nd and 8 from the 33 for the Buffaloes. This is going to be a quick handoff up the middle. And he's going to take it about 5 to 6 yards there. Getting close to the first down is... Can't see. It's going to be number 25 for Manteca, Hector Soto.
So Hector Soto, the number 2 back. And he's going to march off the field quite quickly. 3rd and short for Manteca, as the referees take a timeout to dry off the ball a bit, as well as make sure that it's set properly. And Manteca's going to call a huddle. I mean, honestly, we haven't really seen too much from Manteca's offense, as they have scored quickly. And Sac High is dominating the time of possession, but they just haven't really been able to do anything with it.
No, I agree. These Buffaloes are taking what they can get, and they are just pretty much driving off of the free penalty yards that these Dragons are giving them. But nonetheless, driving nicely and still able to put up 21 points in the first half. And that's always a good first half. So 3rd and 2 here. This is a big 3rd down for the Dragons if they can get this stop.
Quick motion. It's going to be a run up the middle. Goes to Laurel there. And he's going to get enough for the first. So he's really been the backbone to this offense, having great runs left and right. Also coming out of the receiver position. And the clock continues to roll at around 10.5 minutes.
That was one impressive push there by the offensive line, as soon as the ball was hiked, the offensive line was 3 to 4 yards already deep. So that was pretty much a guaranteed first down if you can get your offensive line 4 yards deep when you only need 2.
So dropping back to throw, Manteca finds a target. No, it is dropped. And a great broken up play there coming from Kalen McDonald. And so team captain in on the coverage on that one. Has great success, as again, Sac High's defense hasn't been too bad.
No, not at all. They're doing exactly what they're doing here to start this 3rd quarter, is stopping nicely. They've given up 21 points, but it's been due to penalty yards and short field that they have to cover. But again, a good play by McDonald as he was in the sack earlier. Now a good play there. There's going to be a handout up the middle to Laurel.
And, oh my goodness, he's still going.
That wasn't Laurel, too. Excuse me. That was number, couldn't see what number it was, but it wasn't Laurel. It didn't look like a 5.
I believe that is number 7, Michael Gonzalez on the carry there.
Wow, what a run.
As he really turned on the jets for that one. As honestly, Jason, you and I are usually ready for those things, but we ended up being pretty floored by that quick run.
Yeah, that one didn't look like it was going to lead to much. And next thing you know, the little back, 5'8", 169-pound senior Michael Gonzalez all of a sudden comes piling through the big group of people there in the middle, and he takes it for a long touchdown run. So that's 2 long touchdown runs that we've already seen from this Buffalo offense. One from Laurel, and now this one from Michael Gonzalez. And that's going to give the Buffaloes a 28-point lead with 10 minutes to go here in the third quarter. And these Buffaloes have picked up right where they left off here in the first half. And Sac High needs to get some points on the board if they want to stay in this ballgame, as it is starting to become a rout.
Yeah, Manteca really just complete dominance so far, both on the offensive and defensive end. And Sac High has definitely helped them with penalties and turnovers, but really they seem like a well-oiled machine, these Buffaloes, and they seem pretty comfortable out on this field. And boy, is it chilly there. It's a rare place to ever feel comfortable for any human. And the clock stops at just over 10 minutes. Pretty quick scoring drive there.
Yeah, anytime you get a 55-yard rushing touchdown, it should be a quick drive, and that's twice now that they've had long rushes for touchdowns here.
So Manteca is going to be kicking off to Wheeler and Bassbed. More specifically, Bassbed is actually going to be able to get underneath it, and Sac High is going to get a return. They get it at the 10. Bassbed trying to bounce to the outside, slowed down at just the 25.
So to get to this game, Sac High defeated Benicia in the first round 42-35. They defeated Oakdale 41-21, and then they went ahead and beat Christian Brothers last week 48-38. And that was the route that they needed to get here. Manteca, they took down Central Valley 69-55. They beat Casa Roble 49-13, and they beat Inderkum 45-36. So
here's a big run for Powell. Good gain of 9. He's been having a great game and getting a few extra carries because of this rain.
So yeah, these Buffaloes are not, they are definitely prone to score a lot of points. And already 28 points here in this one. Scoring at least 45 points in all of their playoff games. That is one heck of a stat.
Here's Vogus. He's going to throw an interception. Bringing it back the other direction is none other than Nick Gatehouse. Gatehouse with 2 picks on the defensive end and 1 touchdown on the offensive. And now Manteca looking to make it 35-0.
That was just another bad throw by the sophomore quarterback, Caden Vogus. I don't know if it's the defense, if it's the wetness, if it's all of the above, but Caden Vogus is not playing his normal game that we have seen throughout this entire season. He is just seems to be shook. This might be his first time in a championship game. I don't think it'll be his last, but nonetheless, he will remember this one for some time to come, as he has been off his game here tonight.
So a quick motion there is called by Manzelli. He's going to hand it off up the middle, and Sac High has the ball. Holy goodness, that is none other than Powell himself with one last cut. There was no whistle. He's still spinning and gets brought down around the 40-yard line. And indeed, Sac High quickly gets a turnover and pushes it the other direction.
Well, that's exactly what the Dragons needed. They needed a little bit of push, something to get some momentum on their side. A turnover, indeed, is a good way to do it. Almost taking it all the way back is Lonnie Powell. But nonetheless, he's going to give his offense another chance at this one. Down 28 points, 9 minutes to go in the third quarter. Still plenty of football to play. And the Dragons now taking over the ball on the opposite side of the field at about the 39-yard line. So waiting on the chain gang here to reset, giving Caden Vogus a little bit of time to try to figure out what he's going to do to get his team back in this one. Shotgun, 4 wide receiver set with Ellis in the backfield. He's going to give a little handoff to Ellis. Ellis is going to break a tackle, get to the outside, and pick up about maybe 1 yard, depending on the spot. Looks like they're going to give him about 2. So Ellis doing a nice play there to break a couple tackles, turn a loss into a gain of 2. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 8 here for the Dragons.
So Caden Vogus with a big opportunity here after throwing his 2nd interception of the game. His running back picks up a fumble in the other direction, and now Vogus looking to the sideline. Whoa, there was a funny play there. We'll describe it in a bit, but in the meantime, Isaac Weber catches a tip pass off of the hands of Kyrie Stevens, and now it's going to be 1st down for Sac High, and they're back in the red zone.
Yeah, that was what we're going to call absolute lucky play, but nonetheless, going in the direction of the Dragons. That was a quick pass to Kyrie Stevens, and it was tipped in the air into the welcoming hands of number 33, Isaac Weber, who did run off the field with a little bit of a leg injury, so hopefully he's okay. But nonetheless, here goes another shotgun, 5 wide receiver set with these running back in the slot. A quick throw out to Stevens, and that is just another bad throw by Caden Vogus. His targeting has been off this entire ball game.
Yeah, that one had a bit of wind behind it, I believe, and it was pushed a little extra, but still it wasn't on target to begin with. 8.5 minutes here. However, it's 2nd and 10. Just 13 yards from the end zone. This is some of the best field position Sac High has had so far this evening, although they have had plenty of yards on offense. To the left of Vogus is Lonnie Powell, and to the further left is Damon Wheeler. Vogus looks to the sideline for the play call. Play calling similar to University of Oregon, for those of you familiar. Vogus is going to fake the handoff to Powell. He's going to throw this slant to Wheeler. Wheeler is going to bumble his way in the end zone. Pay dirt.
And that's something that we had seen throughout the game last week that we covered against Christian Brothers. The quick slant to Wheeler. Last week, Wheeler was unable to catch most of those slant plays, but that one he was able to get his hands on there, and he's going to get it in there for the first touchdown of the game for the Dragons. So we're going to have Solario on for the extra point and see if they can put this within 21 here, still with plenty of ball game left. Just under 8.5 minutes to go in the third. So.
And that one did not get up, so it's going to be 28-6 here.
That was a bad snap. It's unfortunate.
It is unfortunate. Again, this rain is really having its impact, and I think for those of you who are following both the games tonight in the Sac Joaquin section, it's pretty clear to see that the two teams with more experience and more veterans on their roster are winning in big fashion. But Sac High with a great touchdown there and a great drive after a picked up fumble coming from Lonnie Powell. They were able to throw one in, and earlier I said I would be surprised if Damon Wheeler didn't score tonight, and then I started to get nervous because Sac High was struggling to score anything, but he's pretty successful there coming on the outside, and now they trail by 22.
Still, again, lots of football left to be played here, so still anybody's ball game. Buffaloes just need to calm down and shake off that turnover while the Dragons are trying to continue on the momentum that the turnover has brought them. And this is a deep one. Laurel to take it.
And he's going to work his way to the far left sideline, patiently following his blockers, gets up to the 30-yard line. So it's good for Sac High to get up on the board here, but they've still got a lot of work to go, especially because Manteca's high-powered offense has really been having no trouble so far working their way down the field. And they're going to have to come up with more than a couple stops here like the one they did just moments ago. Dropping back is Manziel. He's going to roll left throw with his right arm. Throws across his body there and is able to get a nice completion there for a gain of 4.
So it's going to bring up a 2nd and 6 here. Maybe even a 2nd and 8, as it looks like he got a bad spot, only gaining 2 yards. So 2nd and 8 here from the 32-yard line. Dragons looking to try to get their defense off the field and get that offense back out, as the offense is looking to try to continue on for their first successful drive of the game.
So here's going to be a run up the middle there for Alex Laurel.
And he's going to gain about 2 or 3 more yards. So this is going to bring up a 3rd and I'm going to say long 4.
So 3rd and a handful. This would be a huge stop for the Dragons. As the rain pours down, the black numbers on the what used to look to be green jerseys of the Buffaloes are starting to get less and less clear. So we get around to the 7.5-minute mark. And it's going to be a run up the middle for Laurel. And he's going to, not for Laurel. That's going to be for Hector Soto. And that's going to be a first down and then some. Once the chains move, the clock will continue to roll. And Manteca is continuing to roll as well.
Yeah, Soto on that one was just about 1 step away from taking it for a touchdown, being the 3rd running back to take it for a long touchdown of the day for the Buffaloes. And he looks to be a little bit upset with himself that he lost his footing and was just unable to take that one, as he had lots and lots of daylight in front of him. But still, nonetheless, bringing up a first down, moving those chains, and Buffalo's looking to do exactly that.
Soto's the tailback again, only he's not going to have the ball. It's actually going to go to number 5 there, Alex Laurel. He's going to come in from the outside, take the end-around handoff, and move the chains again.
Man, just 2 good plays back-to-back from the Buffalo, something that we've seen already. This the stellar rushing attack. They've got a lot of different weapons in the backfield, and they're utilizing them well and keeping this defense off kilter with plenty of substitutions and just keeping everybody fresh on their side of the ball.
I also want to mention that Jacob Ladon there,
here's a 4-man huddle again.
34 is lining up as a fullback, and he's been having a lot of success as he gets the lead block there. And the handoff once again goes to Hector Soto.
And we're going to get a little bit of a warning here from some chippiness from the referee. We've had a couple of a little bit of extracurricular activities after the whistles between a couple of the linemen. So the referee issues a warning.
A lot of frustration coming from both sides of the crowd. Neither team wants to see this go in the wrong direction. Keep everything clean and safe out there. Manziel again having a bit of a huddle. It seems that
I love the 4-man huddle.
It's pretty apparent that they're going to be running the ball whenever they do that, but then they do something like that. They get it around to Alex Laurel, and Laurel again coming from the outside with his success. That again tends to be pretty darn good, as a Manteca player is helping an opponent out. I believe Sac High's Curtis Clark was cramping up, and a couple of Manteca players stepped in to help him stretch his leg out. Some good sportsmanship, however, a bit ambitious, or at least it may seem that way to the Sac High medical staff that wants to make sure everything's done correctly. Good sportsmanship again, though. And now the clock is going to stop for a bit as this gets all straightened out. 5 minutes, 40 seconds up on the clock, as currently the Buffaloes are leading 28-6 here in the Division III Section Championship, live from Stockton, California, for the Sac Joaquin section. My name is Greg Cotta alongside Jason Patterson, and Justin Gorley bringing you the production, and Victor Adams weathering the storm upstairs to bring you this live footage. And now we do get to see again that it seems that Curtis Clark is actually in a bit of pain, so he is getting help off of the field, and we do wish him a good recovery and hope it is just a cramp that it was thought to be.
Man, I don't know. I seen him favoring that leg about 3 to 4 plays ago, the exact leg that he's hobbling on right now. He seems to be walking a little bit better as he gets towards the sideline. But hopefully, indeed, like you said, it was just a cramp, something that cramped up earlier. He shook it off well, and it looks like it's just coming back on him. He's going to make his way to the table. So, again, we wish him a speedy recovery, and hopefully he's able to return to this ball game. But that's going to put a 1st and 10 from the 30 for the Buffaloes as they come out of their 4-man huddle.
So Manziel gets the huddle broken up, and it's going to be a pitch to Soto. He's going to get around the outside. He found the corner, and he tries to fight his way to the end zone. He did! What a powerful run coming from Hector Soto, listed at 5'6" and a $180. And it is now 34-6.
Wow. I thought he was going to get stopped 5 yards short. Next thing you know, he's taking all 180 pounds into the end zone with 2 Dragons on his back. That is one heck of a run there.
Quite a visual with the 2 Dragons on his back, but yeah, that was quite a run there.
He wanted to be in the party as the other 2 running backs already had a touchdown. Now Soto gets his.
So 34-6, looking for 35. The kick is up. 35 indeed. 5.5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Manteca High Buffaloes 35, Sac High Dragons 6.
Never miss another game. Become a subscriber of the NFHS Network to watch live coverage, game replays, and highlights of high school sports from around the country. www.nfhsnetwork.com. It all starts here.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Sacramento High Dragons are looking to add more points to the board. However, they currently trail by 29. And kicking off for Manteca is Marcus Montano. His right-footed kick is booted away, works its way into the end zone. And that's going to be a touchback. So Sac High is going to be starting at the 20-yard line. And it was a very long drive there for Manteca. It's been a while since Sac High has been on the field, and hopefully they were able to stay warm in this ridiculous amount of rain. Now, there's been nothing but great weather in this area for the past 3 months, well, even longer than that, but as long as the football season is going. So the last 13, 14 weeks have been nothing but great. Now there's just very cold rain that is really having a huge impact on this game. And Sac High seems they've been adjusting well in the second half, but still have a long way to go. Here's Vogues. He's going to drop back, and he's going to get dropped down.
That was number 45 on the sack there. Peter Moa, who has already been one heck of a nuisance there in the backfield for these Dragons, as he's bringing down Caden yet again for another sack.
So the 5'10" senior working his way into the backfield, making it 2nd and 19 here for the Dragons. And almost instantly a throwing situation, except Lonnie Powell has had his share of big runs, and he's going to run up the middle. He's stopped, though, and gets up to about the 20-yard line. Or my apologies, the 15. So that makes it 3rd and 15 after that gain of 1.
So hitting the 4.5 minute mark here in the 3rd quarter. with the Dragons just trying to figure anything out. And that's going to be either too many men on the field or a delay of game. And I believe it's too many men on the field, as we had one running off late.
So that's going to go further back there for the Dragons. And make it 3rd and longer. So they're back now on their 10-yard line with a 3rd and 20. 4 wide receivers set. Ellis there in the backfield. And receiver is found. And that is brought in by Damon Wheeler. And he may have gotten the first down. So a successful conversion there on 3rd and 20 is a huge play for Sac High.
Yeah, that's an understatement. Huge play indeed. The rain has let up a little bit here, and you've seen Caden Vogus getting a little bit more accuracy on his passes now that the rain is not as strong. There's going to be a quick throw to the outside to Wheeler, and that was behind Wheeler. Wheeler did get his hands on it, but he was unable to bring that one in. Like I said, it was just a little bit behind him. Just as I praise him for doing some accuracy, he throws it an off-target one.
Yeah, it did hit Wheeler in the hands, however, and he was not able to bring it in. So here is Vogus lined up with Powell in the backfield. Bottom of your screen is Damon Wheeler. It's going to be a handoff to Powell. Powell is going to get he's going to fumble. Ball hits the ground. Manteca is claiming that they have it. We'll have to wait from the referee. And Manteca indeed has it. Fumble recovered there by number 40, Elijah Cooper. And there is another turnover for the Sac High Dragons.
Oh, man, as that has been the tail of the tape tonight. Just turnovers, and turnovers usually lead to points, as that's been going on from both sides of the field, as the Dragons' only touchdown came from a turnover from the Buffaloes. But again, another turnover, I believe the 3rd fumble on the day, and 2 interceptions. So that's too many turnovers, plus a turnover on downs and a missed field goal. Man, just so many opportunities that they are giving the Buffaloes to take advantage of, and that's exactly what Manteca has done here tonight. As he's going to get a 5-step drop and lots of pressure in the backfield, and that's going to be a sacked lunch by number 52 from Sacramento, the captain, Kalen McDonald, who has already been in the backfield a few times for the Dragons.
Yeah, that's his 2nd sack of the game, and the clock will continue to roll here. Just over 3.5 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. Manteca with a dominant lead, but a big stop for the Dragons there, making it 2nd and 16. And Joe Menzel is trying to get things squared away. He's got 2 backs behind him. Tight end to his right. He's going to hand the ball off, and with plenty of room, Alex Laurel is going to work his way almost to the 1st down marker. And he's going to get stopped just 2 yards short, making it 3rd and 2.
Yeah, that kid's got some serious cuts, as you think he's going one way, and he plants his foot into the ground and breaks back the other way. And he just took the entire defense for a run on that one. And that's going to bring up a 3rd and 2 here from the 30.
So coming out of the game is Joe Menzel. No, my apologies. He was just getting the play, something he isn't usually had to do. But he's got the play, and he has 6 down linemen, including a tight end. And it's going to be another draw up the middle. And that's an easy 1st down. Gets the ball to the 25-yard line. And again, after the chains move, the clock will continue to roll, as really Manteca is just trying to let the clock win the game for him here.
Yeah, I really wish we had an official statistician on hand, as I would like to know their 3rd down percentage, as we've seen a few 3rd down and shorts, and the Buffaloes have been able to pick those up, and that has been keeping these Sac High defense off guard, keeping them on the field, keeping them winded, as you start to see the hands on the knees a little bit there from the defense of Sac High.
2 wide receivers to the left for Menzel. And he's going to throw a pitch back, and he's still going? We've seen, I feel like I've had that same reaction several times tonight, but what a cut. So once again, Alex Laurel with the carry. And he was able to shake a couple defenders out of their boots, move the chains.
Yeah, there's a few pairs of wet socks down there as they're getting shook right out of their shoes. As anytime Laurel touches the ball, you've got to expect that plant foot to come somewhere, and next thing you know, he's going in the complete opposite direction.
So we're now under 2 minutes in the third quarter. Manteca leading by 29, trying to get another touchdown to nearly put this one out of reach, especially with the success they're having on offense. There is Laurel again. He's brought down inside the 10.
And the clock's still moving, so Manteca doing everything they need to do to try to go home with this victory. Just keep getting first downs, running the ball nicely, keeping that clock moving as we are now at the 1.5 minute mark for the third quarter. Excuse me. But again, like I said, Buffalo's doing exactly what they want. It's number 34 checking out for Manteca, Jacob Ledon, who was a little bit hobbled up, so hopefully he's okay.
Alex Laurel is the tailback here from the 9-yard line. He's going to take the draw up the middle. He bumbles his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Alex Laurel. Manteca is showing such a dominance, 41-6.
Yeah, dominance indeed. As I had said, they had scored 45 points at least in all of their playoff games. And pending this extra point, they will be only 3 points away from hitting that mark and a whole quarter to play. So Manteca obviously proving that they are one heck of an offensive team as it is starting to clear out over on the Sac High side. Some people starting to head towards those cars, start beating the traffic out of here as they think this one is long and over. Now trailing 42-6 are the Dragons.
Well, if it's cold and rainy and windy, you don't really want to be on the losing side of things. The only way you can enjoy that weather is if you're here with the several Manteca fans, none of them leaving, as their team is leading 42-6 here on the NFHS Network, where it all starts here.
Stay tuned for the NFHS Network postgame show powered by Play On Sports. We will select our player of the game and wrap up tonight's action. That's coming up following the game on the NFHS Network, where we are high school.
So Manteca lining up to kick off. Too deep as usual for the Sac High Dragons, Wheeler and Baspet. We've seen them out a lot tonight.
And it actually looks like it's Baspet and Kyrie Stevens.
Yeah, Kyrie Stevens stepping in
as I don't see Wheeler on the field right now.
I became a creature of habit there. But Wheeler not back to return.
Maybe Manteca will kick it to him without number 3 back there.
It would be interesting to see. After at this point, they've enjoyed just booting it to the back of the end zone. And that's exactly what they're going to do.
That kid's got a boot.
And if you can do that every play, you probably should. So here come the Dragons, trying to get things moving as I'm trying to keep my eye out. And indeed, there appears to be no injury or anything wrong for Damon Wheeler. He's back out on the field, just not there to return the kick. And Sac High is going to want to play this until the very last minute. They've had a great season there. Since the Sac Joaquin section was created, this is their very first appearance in the championship, and really they've had a spectacular season.
Well, like you're saying, despite a few seniors that aren't going to be returning next year, they are still quite a young team. Their star quarterback, who just got laid out in the backfield there.
Caden Vogus there getting sacked.
By none other than number 45, Moda, who got in the backfield yet again. That's his third sack on the day. But again, like we were saying, this very young Sac High team, their quarterback, star quarterback, only a sophomore, get some people around him, and we should expect to see Sac High here for a couple years to come. But still, hats off to Manteca as they came in and played their game exactly the way they wanted to, as they're going to get another sacked lunch in the backfield.
So another big sack there for Manteca. 2 downs, 2 sacks. And I'm trying to see, I do not believe that was Moa again on that one, but Peter Moa, 5'10" senior, around 200 pounds, has 3 sacks on the day. As we get into the final seconds here of the third quarter, 3rd and 14. And they throw out to the flats to Kyrie Stevens. Stevens is going to fight his way up to the 29-yard line. So at the beginning of the fourth quarter, it's going to be 4th and 1 for the Sac High Dragons. We're going to be back in a bit. Manteca leading 42-6 here on the NFHS Network. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Sac High doing what they can to pull off a miracle. They're currently trailing 42-6 here on the NFHS Network. Greg Cottle alongside Jason Patterson, bringing you the live action here from Stockton, California, here in the championship of the Division 3 Sac Joaquin section. Bit of a play action is going to get out to the flats, and a great wrap-up tackle there coming from Manteca's Dom Pisano. And that tackle there is going to bring down Kyrie Stevens for a loss. And that's going to be a turnover on downs. So Manteca quickly ending that threat. And now they are just 24 yards from their end zone.
Man, and they have the opportunity to take it with any one of their 3 rushing backs that all have a touchdown today. 5, Alex Laurel. 7, Michael Gonzalez. And number 25, Hector Soto, all with a touchdown here today. As Gonzalez is going to check in, so it's going to be Gonzalez and Laurel in the backfield and what looks to be like a pro set, 2 wide receivers.
Menzel's going to draw it back. He gets it to the outside. And the receiver, Brandon Dabney, just kind of falls on it, makes sure he gets the completion. Clock continues to roll, and the ball is inside the 20.
Yeah, I've really liked the way Manziel has controlled his offense. He's been just the head of the offense the whole entire game, calling the plays nicely, perfect execution. We're going to call him Mr. Football Jr., as he is Joe Manziel instead of Johnny. But looking to be like he could be up there in the college divisions right now, doing nicely.
Hand off to Laurel. He's going to get wrapped up there by West Simpson. And the ball gets up to the 15-yard line. And it looks like it's just a hair short of the first down. And indeed, yeah, it's going to be about 3rd and inches. And really inches. I mean, it's the nose of the ball is just short of the first down markers. So let's see how Manteca handles this one. Really a good balanced attack so far for Manteca, throwing and running. And we also want to mention Menzel has a rushing touchdown of his own. As the handoff goes up the middle to Gonzalez.
Oh, man.
Touchdown Manteca.
Wow. these running backs for this Manteca Buffalo offense, they have some serious elusiveness to them. They are just getting in there, planting their foots, making cut moves. That one looked like he was playing Dance Dance Revolution as he made 2 solid moves back to back, and he's going to just walk it right into the end zone. And that's going to put him up 48-6 pending this extra point. And they have almost put up a 50-burger here at the Manteca Buffaloes. Man, what a game Manteca has come to play. I am definitely curious to see who Manteca is going to play in the North versus South of California state championship game. If they make it there, oh man. Manteca is just a powerhouse on offense. 45 points in every single one of their playoff games. That's the minimum that they've scored, 45 points, ladies and gentlemen. And this being their best defensive showing, as they've only given up 1 single touchdown and managed to block the extra point. So only 6 points given up here for Manteca. And they are well on their way to giving Coach Eric Rice the very, very cold Gatorade bath here towards the end of this game.
So the clock is now stopped at around 9 minutes and 40 seconds. Sac High is looking to do what they can and try to get another score up on the board, but it seems that mistakes are happening left and right. And Manteca isn't really making any, with the exception of 1 fumble. I'd say really they've been having a perfect game.
Well, I agree with that statement. That 1 fumble leading to the only points that Sac High has received in this ball game. And again, like you said, without that fumble, it's been a pretty perfect ball game here for the Buffaloes.
And the kick is almost into the uprights. And you mentioned earlier, the kid's got a boot.
That's an understatement now. As half of the coaches on the sideline put the "It's good" sign in the air.
They were looking for it.
They have seemed to put that kid to the test as he's kicked the ball off multiple times here, and they're trying to see if he can't put one through the uprights. Kind of Sebastian Janikowski-like on that one, and he's got some serious leg to him.
So Sac High looking to play mistake-free from here on out. Clock stopped at 9:39. Vogus gets brought down, but he still makes a complete. No, they're saying it's incomplete, so it did make a bounce. But that was to Isaac Weber, but still it was a great play there coming from Vogus to even just get it out of the pocket.
It looks like the rain is completely stopped right now, so I would hope and pray that we see at least 1 deep throw attempt here from Vogus. That is what led them to this ball game last week against Christian Brothers. 4 long touchdowns to Damon Wheeler, and today not only 1 attempt, and it led to an interception.
Vogus is going to roll out, and he's going to find Weber again. Weber brought down by a gang of tacklers, but it's going to make it 3rd and a few.
That's unfair. They're filling up the Gatorade jug to go dump it on the coach.
That's something new to make sure that the coach gets the bath, a full bath, one that he fully deserves. Here's a handoff going to Powell, but the referees are going to blow the ball dead before that happens. As we wait to hear from the white hat. And the ball set at the 29-yard line. No, I guess it was an official's timeout, so it's still 3rd and short here. And the handoff is going to go to Powell. He's brought down in the backfield. Loss of 3. And now they're going to give him forward progress enough to make it 4th and 1. But it looks like Sac High's punter, Adam Pimper,
Such a good name.
is coming out onto the field. And we haven't seen too much from him tonight, but he'll be looking to punt the ball deep as the clock is now running.
So 7.5 minutes and counting left in this ball game.
And Pimper's punt is high but short. And unnecessary roughness, I think, is going to get called here against Manteca as Dom Pisano knocked down, I believe it was Tyreek Hickerson, but the referee didn't like it. And no, it's going to get called against Sac High. I must have missed the penalty. I apologize for misleading our audience. But that's going to be another 15 yards there called against Sac High. And
that's their 4th personal foul call on the ball game. So one roughly a quarter on an average.
And, you know, it's a tough situation for Sacramento High. They've worked so hard to represent their school at this point, and the clock continues to run. And
oh, man.
no, my apologies. I did have the call correct. So it was backwards on Manteca. So I just looked the wrong direction for the referee. I was stunned, but I went along with it because I trusted my own wrong opinion. So let's get it clear again. As, again, Gatorade being filled here on the Manteca sideline. And the running clock now with about 6 minutes to go. And I think that Manteca is going to do what they can just to run this one out.
Well, with the running clock, I'd say they're about 1 first down away from putting this one out. And that's going to put us under 5.5 minutes to go in the ball game. Manteca looking to just run this clock out and head on back south to Manteca with a win.
With a big win. I mean,
Huge.
we had the pleasure of watching Sac High a week ago. That was a different team.
Completely different team. They never once attempted a deep throw, which is what brought them to this ball game.
And it's something I guess you can live and die by. And a quick pitch to the outside is going to get to a name we haven't gotten to say yet, Carl Chandler. Listed as a wide receiver, but he's going to take that pitch, and that's going to be a big first down. And the clock will not stop to move the chains. So we are glad that you're able to enjoy this game from the comfort of your own home. For those of you fans who are smart enough to watch it here instead of sit out in the rain, we appreciate your company. As a quick draw up the middle.
And even the second unit is still doing good here on offense, as that one was a run up the middle. But taking the snaps right now for Manteca is number 12, Greg Jones, the junior. Quarterback, strong safety, 6 foot, 189 pounds. And he is happily taking a few snaps here in this ball game as they are giving their starters a break. A much-needed break as we've got all new guys in there.
So, again, Manteca using the depth of their roster. Great package changes have been really good for them to stay fresh during this game. And that pack is still moving. As I don't even have the ability to commentate that. I mean, there was just a herd of, well, you had 20 to 21 players. And then the pack kind of moved. It kind of reminded me of a, low, like 6-year-olds playing soccer when there's just 10 kids around the ball at all times, but impressive run.
Yeah, that was a heck of a rugby scrum there as the offense decided to move it forward, moving the chains. The Buffaloes, with 3 minutes to go here in this one, if they don't slow it down, they're going to end up in the end zone here with their second unit offense out there.
So a fake handoff is actually going to roll Greg Jones out, and he's going to go for almost the first. As the clock is under 3 minutes now.
And the lid is off of the Gatorade jug as the two big boys are making their way over to the coach to dump it on him.
And the thing is, the head coach rarely catches it, but what he should look out for is all the assistant coaches that just disappear. And they got him. So, congratulations to Manteca. We'll give the real congratulations in a bit. But boy, this is Manteca looking like they're going to be section champions once again.
That just looks cold.
Yeah, I mean, he's already wet. I mean, it's been raining so much today. As that is Eric Reese.
That's going to be a handoff to one of the younger kids out there.
Yeah.
So one of the JVs brought up for the game who's going to get a play and head on off as he has a completely different jersey on.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of different colors come on and off the field at this point.
Yeah, there's a guy with a yellow piece on his helmet somewhere.
So plenty of rosters for plenty of uniforms, plenty of colors here, and it's going to be another draw up the middle. As Manteca again just looking to close this one out. This carry though coming from Marcus Rivas, 5'9" sophomore.
Gotta love getting some of these names out there.
As honestly, I mean, this whole team is champions, and they're making sure that they all get to share some of the glory as we get down to the final minute.
Well, man, like you said, they just have one heck of an extensive roster here. On my printed out piece of paper, I've got Sac High at about 1 1/8 piece of paper, and Manteca come in with a solid 2. They've got at least 20 more names on their roster, so keeping their packages fresh and lots of kids in and out, and it has seemed to work here, only giving up 6 points of offense, 49 points 6 points onto the defense, and 49 points on the offense.
And I think they just have one play left here. Again, that was Rivas on the carry. And yeah, plenty of younger athletes here able to get some reps in as we get into the final seconds. And even in this situation, they've been marching down the field, but now they're coming out in victory formation. So for the third time in the last 10 years, the Manteca Buffaloes are section champions. They're going to have a new banner to hang up in their gymnasium, winter gymnasium it is. And big congratulations to the Manteca Buffaloes. First, we want to say congratulations to the Sac High Dragons. They had an amazing season, and they showed they really represented their school well to make it to this championship for the first time. However, it was the veteran team that prevailed. We're going to be back in a bit with the post-game show. Final score, 49-6, Manteca Buffaloes. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's really cold, it's really windy, and you can see the teams celebrating. Well, one team celebrating here, Manteca winning in dramatic fashion. I mean, honestly, winning 49-6 in a section championship is never easy. We are here live from our gracious hosts here at Lincoln High School in Stockton, California. And I want to say that this is our time when we get to select our player of the game, and I've got number 81, Nick Gatehouse. 2 interceptions on defense and 1 big touchdown reception on offense, and that touchdown reception was on the same drive where he got the interception. So Manteca, though, as a team, really there's a lot of names worth mentioning when you put 7 touchdowns up on the board. Yeah,
there's been a few throughout the entire ball game. Their 3 star running backs of the day: number 5, Alex Thorell; number 7, Michael Gonzalez; and number 25, Hector Soto. And let's not forget to mention, since we're doing it all, it was a pretty much team effort. Number 16, Joe Menzel, also got a rushing touchdown. So just everybody getting their licks in here on the Sac-High Dragons. And unfortunately, there had to be one team that lost, and that is Sac-High today. And they just got outmatched and outplayed here in this wet, rainy weather as the rain begins to pick up again here during our postgame show. But, man, what a heck of a game for Manteca. Just like you said, just a powerhouse offense, and they proved it. Scoring 49 points, man, what a heck of a showing.
Not just scoring 49, but holding Sac-High to 6 points. Now, Sac-High last week, their main target, their wide receiver number 3, Damon Wheeler. Damon Wheeler broke a state record for receiving yards in a game with 380. And tonight he gets maybe just under 100 yards and a touchdown. So, I mean, he still had a good game by any standards, but to hold a player that fast and that quick, that everything back, this defense for Manteca was just beyond impressive.
Yeah, obviously they did their homework, spent their time in the film room. I wouldn't doubt if they tuned into the NFHS network and watched last week's game, as they seemed to know everything that the Dragons were going to do on offense and stopped them and did exactly what, like I said, exactly what they needed to do. And that's going to lead to a section championship here in the Division 3 of the Sac Joaquin section.
So again, as you just said, Jason, we want to congratulate Manteca High School, the Buffaloes, again, for the third time in the past 10 years, are section champions. So a great program there. Congratulations to them. A big thanks to our whole crew here, for Jason Patterson, for Justin Gorley on production, and a big thanks to Victor Adams, who weathered the storm up above the press booth to give you this footage. For our whole team here on the NFHS Network and Play On Sports, we thank you so much for tuning in. Stay tuned for sports from all around the country here, where it all starts and where we are high school.